to make you smile, and you need me to hold you close, and all your fears that you dream of will disappear and flutter on. Whoa, hold on just a little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the riddle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand. But I'm so just look on, and I'll look down, and all your fears have run aground. Then you said, all I ever wanted was to love like this. All I ever needed was to feel like something more than a closed door flat on the floor. I can offer so much more. All I ever wanted was to feel at ease. All I ever needed was to get up off my feet. 'Cause I believe in hold on just a little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the riddle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand. But I'm so
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are sorry about that. We had some minor technical difficulties, but we are now back to the game, which is Coppers versus Omnius Gaming in Clubhouse. The score being 5-2. And yeah, we're going to continue right now as the players are back on the lobby. And we'll see which site I think the Coppers are attacking now and Omnius Gaming is defending.
Indeed, I do believe that is the case. There is, well, some more issues. The bans are not there, but teams will just have to, keep in mind of those bans and not play them out. It's a bit of an issue, but needless to say, it's not a big one. So the attackers now coming on the board, the Coppers. We saw them pull some really, I would say, interesting plays in their defense that worked out for them to get their 2 rounds. Not the more default 4-2 in favor of the defense split, but 4-2 in favor of OG on their attack. But still, the Coppers really trying their best and showing up in this matchup and really showing what they can attempt and what they can do. But their attacking lineup so far, they do have one hard breacher and a Kali to support that. But the Fuse, we saw Fuse played quite a bit yesterday as well with War X, William, if I believe that's correct. And the Fuse, they didn't make much of an impact because he was not played on the correct site and played in, you know, the proper positioning. So hopefully this obviously being the Coppers attack onto the basement defense, hopefully it can help them and really just put pressure on those defenders inside and just, well, move them away.
And seeing as they only have a Jaeger and he'll possibly be using his ADSs somewhere else, so that will give a little bit of time for the Fuse to shine. And speaking of shining, Dropshot and Kaiko are going for a very ambitious spawn peek. A couple of shots coming out but not touching anyone, but Dropshot did get touched with a bullet or two. So maybe the Coppers have had enough of that trickery, and he does get a little bit of damage put onto him again. So Sergeant Arvind and somebody else is going to be pushing onto the garage, and Talon is going to be pinching from somebody else, somewhere else. So the Coppers are making headway right now. At least none of them have been picked off yet, and we've been over 20 to 30 seconds into the round so far. So this is good news for the Coppers. If they can get into the map and do a little bit of damage to OG, that will work out brilliantly for them. Dropshot going for another cheeky spawn kill of some sort, but not any success at all.
Now left all the way at the top floor all by himself. The Coppers are trying to pressure him out. That's Dropshot on the Bandit by himself. He has not used any of his util. He does not have a C4 anymore, but still 4 of those Bandit charges left on the board. So if he can get picked off, that's all his utility gone. But no, he will get, Sandals will get the first pick as he's lying on top of main stairs. Do the Coppers realize that he is playing there? It looks like he was able to rotate back up, but now the Coppers trying to pressure them out. Will they be able to spot him out? The Jackal now making works with that scanner of his. He does spot out the Bandit, but the Legion looking the opposite way, opposite direction. He gets picked off there, but now it's a standoff, a 1 versus 1 versus Dropshot, and Talon and Dropshot comes up on top there, getting a refrag onto his teammate. Now a 4 versus 3 with a minute left on the clock. The Coppers have to get rid of this Roma if they want to push into side. Ergo adding onto the scoreboard as well, getting the ace. That's Chris off of the board. Ace no longer in play, and Ergo is down but not out. That is the Kali. Good there from Slaney to get a pick for himself, but now being contested from that hatch once again. Will he be able to win this gunfight out? He's being peeked, the shots coming through, missing his sniper shot, and allowing Malusi just to push back safely. Dropshot making that flank down the stairs and getting that pick. Now it's all up to Arvind in a 1 versus 3.
Arvind with all 3 of his cluster charges ready in hand, but I don't think he's going to be able to use any of them, as he will now be met by Dropshot with a Bandit. Arvind has to get a shot on. He had a silence on his gun, but Dropshot takes Arvind out and gets another round for OG.
Indeed, well played there from OG to take that round. They did play extremely aggressive on their defense, so not very common from a team to play that aggressive and just really try and, you know, push the attackers out. But needless to say, it worked in their favor, that aggressive plays. But the Coppers have to now try and, you know, bring something else to their playing field. The Fuse wasn't really working. They have decided to stick on the Fuse, so I'm very skeptical about that pick, but bringing a Twitch now instead, maybe that's what they need. Sorry, not Twitch, as it is being 6-picked to I'm not sure what. But for the defense of OG, if they want to really, you know, clutch this one out and take it to, or win the game, they are in match point. They really have to try and pressure those attackers as much as possible.
Bombs from being defused by attackers.
Indeed, but now Pretzel Boy switching over to the Buck. I believe he had the Buck on a previous round as well, but it seems like the same kind of lineup again. Cannibal putting all 3 of these ADSs on the hatch, and they have gone. Are they doing a switcheroo of their own, or are they just messing around downstairs? That's the question. They're putting all their utility downstairs in bar, and I think they're going to be watching this site from below. A
5
heavy
seconds to
roam
go.
from Kaiko as he tries to
Attackers have
meet
discovered
the
the location
attackers
of a
all the
bomb.
way in
Attackers are
secret.
heading out to defuse a
And
bomb. A
he's
bomb
gonna
has
meet
been
somebody.
located.
Actually, Bandits are in the same peak. That's the most classical spawn peak of note in Clubhouse. Everybody knows it from year one, but not getting anything at all. Chris is doing a couple of shots onto Drop Shot, and Drop Shot is gonna stand his ground and keep them at bay. They need to do something else here to get him off of that position, and it seems like Talon is going to be doing exactly that, going around into Strip Club. They need to find a way to get him off of that position in order for them to advance. Dropshot does know about it and is going to challenge them at that.
Indeed, Dropshot now trying to contest these players. He does have the angles, but he won't spot out everybody for now. He's going to try and go for the run out. I'm not sure who you'll be able to spot out. It does look like he's trying to find that player playing near the garage area, but that is not the case. He will not be able to find them. Yeah, but, well, the player playing aggressively at this, the Oryx is going to wait for this wall to be open to push out. We'll have to see how that is going to play out. Chris, he has his back turned to the wall. Well, there we go. It's not really open for them, and Dropshot gets the first pick. That is the ace of the board.
Attackers have
At
recovered
least
their
he
defuse.
used all his utility. Dropshot playing there on the Roman Strip Club, really making works and just playing very aggressively there. But Pretzel Boy being picked up from behind. That's Dropshot to get a second for himself, and that's the buck of the board. It's all up to the Kali. With the Kali of Slay Rex, the Sophia, and the Fuse versus 5 OG players that are playing very aggressively at the moment. They have to try and find them out if they want to keep themselves in this game.
And now the Kali is struggling to get a shot onto that Bandit, and Slayrex and Talon eliminating Cannibal and Sandals, finally getting them off the board to equalize the man count. Now, the Coppers are in a good spot for now, but time-wise, they will not be in a couple of seconds because they're playing really separate from each other right now. But the Arvind is being supported by Talon on the Zofia. Still on the roof though, nowhere near sight, besides Fuse, who is, Kali, who is on West Wall. The drop shot and Kaiko eliminates Slayer and Talon, leaving Sir Arvind on his own. Is he gonna jump in, or is he gonna stay outside and compose himself?
That is the real question. He is in a 1 versus 3 now, and he's getting peeked from 2 different angles, and that's Kaiko on the vigil from CCTV window with the Boss G ACOG there to get the final pick. Well done him from there to clutch out that, well, not really clutch out the round, but just get the final pick for his team and take his team to the victory on Clubhouse with a 7-2 scoreline. Really well played from OG in that matchup. And we have to cut some slack to the Coppers, really coming into this matchup and giving it their all, showing what they're made of, and really, they impressed me in a couple of those rounds. Really came up with some interesting plays that I have not seen before, and just showing what they're made of.
Yeah, they shouldn't take it as a throwaway match, really. They have learned quite a lot, especially in their past couple of games. So I think if they got down to business and actually learned a couple of strats and learned a couple of plays, they might do a little bit of damage in future. So I'm hoping to see them in future tournaments.
Indeed, the Coppers, you guys don't give up. Just carry on playing, carry on practicing, and you guys will really be able to come back and just improve over time. Everything happens with time. So just go back to the drawing board, maybe fix up a couple things you guys made mistakes of, rewatch the video, and just see how you guys can improve in that one. And overall, really well done to you guys, and really good attempt on you guys to give OG a showing in that matchup. And for as OG, really well played to you guys. You guys played exceptionally well, really showing the type of team that you are, and just proving yourselves as well one of the top tier teams. I believe, William, what were your thoughts in that matchup? Sorry.
I just want them to do more switcheroo strats. They must keep that up. Keep pulling one up on the opponents, and yeah, if they do interesting things like that, they'll go far. And they must just play together as well. They're a little separated in their gameplay with no trade potential. So if they take that into mind, they'll get more rounds on the board and use more information and drone a little more on the attack and not face check a lot. So that's what I would say to the Coppers.
Indeed. If you guys don't go away, we will be coming back. We will go into a short intermission. We have a matchup now at 1 o'clock. It will be slightly at 1 o'clock. It will be slightly delayed because this match took a bit of time. We will be back in at least 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere. Get your water, get your snacks, as the next matchup is going to be once again a very interesting matchup. So you guys want to stay tuned for that one. That's William and Justin. We'll see you guys in a bit.
just enough to make you smile, and you need me to hold you close, and all your fears that you dream of will disappear and flutter on. Whoa, hold on just a little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the brittle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand. But I'm so just look on, and I'll look down, and all your fears around the ground. Then you said, all I ever wanted was to love like this. All I ever needed was to feel like something more than a closed door flat on the floor. I can offer so much more.
Baby, wait, I know that you're afraid, but it'll be okay if you just stay with me. And we can run from here, and we can disappear, and they won't find us where we are going, dear. So baby, hold on to me, 'cause I know I can make you believe. under the night sky, trying to make me see your stars. But the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence. And the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You're the night sky hiding behind dark gray clouds. I can't figure you out now. I see your blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where our two paths align. But you're the night sky. I'm trying to see your stars, but I've always feared the dark. Now I see violet. I can feel your silence. You always feel so far when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is William, and right next to me is Justin, and this is WLE 10K. We are back with the second match. Justin, could you take us away?
Yeah, welcome everybody. Today's matchup is Dark Esports versus Yebo Gaming. It's the second matchup for today. There are still about 4 to 5 matches up to follow in the rest of today's game, so stay tuned for those. But today's game is Cafe. Dark Esports, we saw a bit of them yesterday. Yebo Gaming, we also saw a bit of them yesterday, but it does look like they have a bit of a different roster. They have a new player on their board for this game, so we'll have to see how much of a different game it's going to be for Yebo Gaming on their defense as they start Cafe. So Dark Esports, obviously, we saw them play exceptionally well yesterday and really performed against WarX. They knew exactly what they needed to do in the matchup. It was Oregon, so a different map at least for today, Cafe. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. But William, what are your thoughts and what are your predictions for this matchup?
My predictions right now is Dark Esports. I've had my own Dark Esports for quite a while, ever since the drawing of the pools. So and they've proven to be a bit of a dark horse themselves. They've come up with some interesting plays, and yeah, they're putting a stamp on they're putting a mark on their tournament so far. But that's what I'm rooting for. But Yebo Gaming may bring it to them, so we'll see how that goes. And it's also exciting to see another different map, which is Cafe. So that's good, especially after the previous game with OG versus the Coppers. What a match that was. And now we are off to Dark Esports, and all the players are in the lobby, and we're about to get the band phase going on.
Indeed, and Cafe obviously being a defender-sided map, once again we just keep seeing these most deep defender-sided maps being played, and Yebo Gaming going to have the upper hand in this one, but Dark Esports, their attacks were pretty good yesterday. Like, you've been giving them credit for most of the things that they do. You've been supporting them all the way, and I can see exactly why. They have been performing, they have been showing up, they've been showing exactly what they're capable of. But Yebo Gaming didn't have the best games yesterday. They've struggled quite a bit, having some player issues, and then playing against Berserkers, which Berserkers honestly also played really well. So them taking that matchup against Yebo Gaming was obviously, you know, the foreseen outcome. But the ban's coming on its way for Cafe. It is the Thatcher and Monty. Monty being banned out there from Dark Esports. So once again, similar bans to Clubhouse. We do not see that Thatcher and Monty once again. Obviously, Monty being a very annoying operator and a very good operator, needless to say, of that one. He can really support his team and just be a walking drone and just support the teammates in from the front lines.
True indeed. And another Clash ban coming on. Somebody needs to tell me what's going on with these Clash bans. I know she's a very oppressive operator, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I need an explanation when it comes to these Clash bans. But I'm predicting either a Valkyrie or a Mirror, if not an Echo on the next ban. And I'm wrong. They took out Melusi. None of those Banshees are going to be in play for this match. As we've seen, I think it was an ATK match versus, I think, Vibin previously, where Melusi was used a lot in this map. And they've made some really good plays using that Melusi. The defenders could really hold down certain areas with those Banshees to alert them of any attackers trying to push in anywhere. So it's good to see a Melusi ban.
If I can quickly correct you, I believe it was DNMK versus ATK. ATK versus Vibin is being played later tonight, so that's going to be a very interesting matchup. You guys want to stay tuned for that as well. If you guys are new, please like and subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We would really appreciate all your support. As well, there is a giveaway on the Twitter page, the World League Esports Twitter page. That's World League ESP on Twitter. You guys go comment who you think is going to win the finals, and then you'll get standard chance to be entered into the giveaway and standard chance to win a mouse pad and a shirt, which in my opinion are very sexy.
Oh yes, indeed. So we're starting off in reading room and dining, not the typical go-to as a first sight. So we'll be seeing a heavy strat on this one, and I'm dying to see what the plan is. We see one of the SAS boys remodeling the map. The Goya's in play, including a Kaid, possibly going to be putting an Electroclaw on one of their hatches. And as I say that, we see one of the hatches have gone. Oh, some players are running in place. So maybe they are going to be focusing those Electroclaws on somewhere else, somewhere in the top floor, I presume, in the bar area side of things, to keep the defense steady at the top floor. What are you thinking, Justin?
Well, I agree with you, but this Amaru coming in here from Dark is going to be very aggressive into Piano there. He doesn't have any support at the moment, but he has top floor control. Will he be able to contest this player running in wide corridor? He will! That is the Goya off of the board. A very quick pick for Dark Esports to start them off in the game. And that's Pretzels out of the game. We did see another Pretzels in the previous matchup, but this one is different. He's playing that Goya, and well, that Vector no longer going to be in use for those defenders. Very, well, I would say an interesting weapon, because it can be either be in your favor or can be against you, because the recoil at the moment has been drastically changed.
Dark Esports is in position right now, with every player trying to get into their respective positions, and the Pledge is going to be doing some vertical play right now, so it's going to move their opponents around and get them out of their positions and into the positions that they want them to get into. There's a lot of ADSs in sight to protect the bomb. Exactly. So some of the defenders have fallen back, but as you see, Skies is going to challenge. Skies, what are you doing? He saw an opponent, trying to reach and found him, but luckily he's not out. But Ivor getting a pick of his own in momentarily, and somebody else from Dark Esports killing somebody else, and Ivor is just going ham right now, eliminating Sky and leaving Stickman on his last breath. Oh my word. And Ivor getting the last pick, and Dark Esports ran through. Oof. Yebo Gaming are struggling in this round.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to make of that round. I don't know really what to say. I'm a loss for words, because I believe Yebo Gaming's defense could have gone a lot better. Sky's there playing on that SMG 11 with the shotgun there. He got a bit of a fright when he saw his teammate, but that's a bit of just a waste of, a teammate's life. He got downed from full HP and then sent to 20 HP and then got picked off because the hatch was open and Ivor just pushing down those stairs. So a very interesting play, needless to say, from the defense. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, because that is a technical team kill. As he was down but not out. He got picked off and then he got finished off by the attackers. So that's a bit a bit interesting, and it's a bit unaware, from maybe just complete unawareness from Skies that his teammate was with him. So that put a lot of pressure on their defense, but I believe they can retake it and maybe show something better in this next round, which they are going to Barn Cocktail. So hopefully for them, they don't make any of those mistakes and they can maybe just hold this one out and just stop Dark Esports in their tracks.
Indeed. Yeah, that was a bit of a misplay. And you can't really count on a swinging Amaru 5 seconds into the round while you're setting up or while you're getting into position. And those kind of plays in this level of plays is not really, it doesn't happen often. So when it does happen, sometimes it doesn't go so well. So they should be prepared for that. And yeah, hopefully they are in the next coming rounds, because I have a feeling Ivor's gonna do it a little more than normal.
Indeed, he is playing that Amaru once again, so he's currently going 4-0. He got a 4K in that previous round, so well done from him there, showing exceptional gunplay from his side. But will he choose to go up into those windows once again, or which side will he go this time? I'd love to see where he chooses to go with that Amaru gadget, or if he uses for a bit later, maybe coming down from below and then jumping up the hatches, as that is a possibility. But we're needless to say, we'll have to wait for that and just see how he chooses to play that one out.
For sure. And now knocked us on the Jackal, so that's going to be paying dividends to their team, because he's going to be able to spot a couple of footsteps, if I'm not mistaken, from that window, as Wavy works on the hatches and Red. So they have the top floor pretty much surrounded at this point, so it's up to whichever side that's pinching to push first, and we'll see where the execute comes from. We see an Ayana clone gonna jump down into the Skylight to scout out the site and see where they can push in from. So she's gonna be getting a little information. Oh my, somebody does get downed onto Yebo Gaming, and they lose 2 players. That's Cloudy and a Street Frost. That is a good pick from Dark Esports. They do lose Naka in the process, including Noctos as well. He's down but not out, but they will be taken out in any moment right now. Stickman getting a pick of his own onto Noctos. This is looking really good for Dark and really bad for Yebo Gaming.
The Goya Shield there working in favor of the attackers and not the defenders, just allowing Stickman to get picked off there and take a lot of damage. But the plant is being attempted now. It's all up to Pretzels in a 1 versus 3. He has the shotgun SMG-11. He's low on HP, and it won't matter because that Zeno sitting in freezer, just waiting, watching the angles, and he gets the final pick there for his team. Really well played from him there, just to hold those angles and just wait patiently for that player to make the mistake to push into freezer unaware of his location, and really just completely paid off. So well done to Dark Esports there. Really great execute from them as they take themselves now to a 2-0 lead in their matchup.
Dark Esports is on the roll, Justin, and it doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. And you could see how close in proximity they were playing together, and they knew what positions to take, and the refrag potential was everywhere. Each time one of the players got taken out or downed, they returned it with a kill of their own. So that is good to see, and Yebo Gaming is going to have to readjust to this
Defenders, protect your
aggression
bombs from being
and
defused by
quick
attackers.
plays, and they're still going for the plant on top of that, which was happening right next to the smoke. So they really have to adjust to this kind of gameplay.
Indeed they do. I believe Pretzels could have had a better opportunity. You know, smoke grenades are able to go through walls if they were placed correctly. So if Pretzels, you know, wanted to throw it maybe from a distance in there to put pressure from like that, he could have still done damage. But then, you know, peeking aggressively to throw it, it didn't really affect him at all. But maybe from that distance it could have been a lot better, because then he would have been able to, you know, put pressure a lot earlier and maybe have stopped that plant and made it a bit easier for him in that 1 versus 3 situation. Needless to say, they do now go back to the top floor, so we have to see if they can change up their mistakes, fix the mistakes that they did made, and make it a better round for them and bring themselves their first round in this matchup.
Right, and Naka bringing the thermite. So I think they were anticipating a kitchen hold this time around, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But nonetheless, it's good to have a thermite. You want to be able to open those freezer walls or the red stairs walls anyway. The attack is going to be coming from a Buck. Ivor not pulling any stunts at the moment. He probably wants to keep Yebo Gaming guessing. Is he going to jump into windows? No, this time he's going to be just doing the normal, usual siege
located
things.
by
Or he might
attackers.
be waiting for the perfect moment to strike. We don't know.
Waiting for that perfect moment, he might, as he is at the bottom on that little balcony, just waiting, watching those windows as Skies now tries to fix his rotate that he was struggling with a bit earlier. But now the defender's waiting patiently with a minute 40 left on the clock. This execute coming out very slowly this time from Dark Esports. So we have to see how they choose to execute this one. They do have control of piano. That is Ivor with that Amaru now choosing to go into that window, just taking it aggressively, really just working out. Amaru, not always the easiest play, but now a play getting spotted out that's wavy, picking off Pretzels on the Jaeger, getting taken out by the run out from, or not a run out, the spawn peak from bottom white garage, taking a lot of knock doses at HP as well there. Oh, Stickman making a flank, gets 2 for himself. He does get refragged however from Zeno. Now it's 3 versus 3 and a pick there from Skies. Well done from him there. Second pick as he picks off Ivor as well. It's all up to Zeno with that Ying. He does have 3 Candelas, but he has to find 3 players on the spot of Yebo Gaming. That's going to be a difficult task for him. He is getting spotted out, throwing out those Ying Candelas, trying to make a push. Will he spot out this play? He does not look the right way, and he gets picked off there from Cloud. He's just playing patiently by the bar. I believe he was trying to go for that C4. Indeed he was, and then just spotted out the player, the hip fire coming out, just showing, listen, this is a much better round for Yebo Gaming. They did change up their mistakes. They played exceptionally well. They just needed that time to warm up, and now we see them playing exceptionally well.
And warmed up they are as they're going to a kitchen to heat the kitchen up. And yeah, well played by Yebo Gaming. They readjusted very well, and Dark Esports didn't anticipate any kind of readjustments as they pulled off the similar kind of attack, and it didn't work in their favor. So seems like they're going to be changing it up a little. I thought they were, but no, they're not. They're just going to be bringing a Nomad, and it's going to be a kitchen attack this time. So we'll see how Yebo Gaming has adjusted to that. Are they going to ride off the momentum or not?
that Finca being teased there by Dark Esports and just getting 6-picked on there to the Nomad. I think Nomad a much better pick for them. Obviously that Finca would have helped with just that aggressiveness, the Amaru also being very aggressive operator, but that Nomad helping with those flanks, as we did see Stickman making that flank up red stairs. They're getting 2 initial picks there. He did get refragged, so bringing, you know, the favor, or not really back into Dark Esports, but just trying to even it out there. But it just, you know, made Dark Esports a lot more wary, and, you know, just putting a lot of pressure on them, as then after that Sky is also adding 2 for the board. So, you know, well played from them, and good adaptation now from Dark Esports to see that they do need that important flanker now that Nomad can bring.
Well said there, Justin, and that's a testament to how Dark Esports kind of plays close together, especially for that refrag potential, because as soon as one of their players die, there's another to trade him out. But I think in that situation, they were playing way too close together, and they ended up lining up for the Legion, who was in Pixel. I think it was the Legion. I may be corrected. But yeah, that kind of negligence may be their downfall in future. So right now, Cloudy on the top floor. I thought he wanted to run out, but it was a Sledge, and the Sledge comes into Reading Room, but he's eliminated by Stickman, sent to the Shadow Realm. But Wavy is close. He might be able to get this refrag, but Stickman has a reposition, so they have to guess where he is. He does turn his back on the takes some shots back and doesn't manage to run away from that, and Ivor does finish him off. So the trade is there, but the Sophia took a little bit of damage in that encounter.
You lost for words you can be, because that was very interesting from the team. And now the Jaeger just peeking out. That's Cloudy picking off the thermite there. The wall was gotten, so it is open, but now a player got refragged, and now the player does get spotted out and not being able to do anything. That's the Nomad picked off there. A 2 versus 3 at the moment, as Cloudy adds a second one onto the board. Now the Sophia are going to try and contest him, putting out those concussion grenades to try and get his location, maybe just stop him a bit. He will be able to rotate out freely and come back and put pressure on these attackers later. He believes that they are pushing him, but no, that is not the case. These 2 attackers are trying to get site control. They know that there's a player upstairs. They're trying to now go for that execute. The plant is being attempted. Cloudy now trying to make that rotate, and the plant is stopped there, but the refrag coming out. That's 3 frogs getting picked off, and now a 1 versus 1 as Wavy gets pretzels as well. Cloudy versus Wavy. Cloudy has the HP advantage. He is trying to get with this pick. The information from Dark is coming through of his location. The plant is being attempted. Will he fake it or will he stick it? Pros don't fake, or do they? And he gets off to peek the angle, and Cloudy peeking it wide and getting the pick and bringing his team back into the game and evening out the scoreline to a 2-2. Really well played from him there on that roam with that Jaeger, just putting so much pressure on Dark Esports attacking execute.
I bet they're wishing they would have dealt with him a bit earlier there, because he was the last man and he was the first person that tried to flank him, and they didn't deal with him. So well played from Yebo Gaming, especially Sky. Was it Sky or Cloudy? I think it was Cloudy on the flank. So Dark Esports falling behind right now. Well, the score is equal, but Yebo Gaming managed to catch up. What could Dark Esports do this time to take a couple more rounds?
I believe Dark Esports just need to... They were playing exceptionally well in those first 2 rounds. They were playing together, they were playing aggressive, and the aggressiveness was working from Ivor there on the Amaru. He's decided now to 6-pick onto that Nook. So good pick from him. Maybe he just wants to be a bit more sneaky. But I believe Dark Esports have a blind side. They have that flank potential that is not being watched. They do have a Nomad, but it's not being executed and used to the full capability, and they are getting punished by Yebo Gaming on those flanks. They have been flanked 2 times now in a row on both rounds that Yebo Gaming have won. Those flanks are really working well for Yebo Gaming, but Dark Esports need to now adapt to that and maybe just play a bit more safer, be more aware of their surroundings and situations, and so that they can counter those flanks coming out from Yebo Gaming, and then, you know, their attacking rounds would look a lot better and they can get back into the game. But not taking anything away from Yebo Gaming, they are playing exceptionally well now on their defense. They are getting back into the game. They are really starting to warm up now and just show the type of team that they are.
They have adjusted well, and it seems like they've found their groove. And speaking of groove, somebody's tucked in that garage freezer area slide, and that could prove very deadly for Dark Esports if they don't drone it or watch out for that. The attack is coming from the top floor, and as you said, the Nomad not being utilized to its full potential, and Ivor doing Ivor things right now. He's the dark horse in Dark Esports right now, because he goes off on his own little missions, and they do seem to be working here and there. So we'll see what he does with the knock this time around. He does hold his position, so maybe he's waiting for his teammates to tell him exactly where to go and who to shoot in their head. Stickman takes Wavy out, and that is the Zofia out of the board. No concussions, no explosives. And Ivan knows about the player in trains and bangs him in the head and takes him out of the server. Ivor with a pick to equalize the man count. Cloudy and Noctos also getting a pick of their own, but Cloudy adding on to the kill count as he runs away, leaving Dark Esports with 2 players left.
I just want to compliment your wordplay there, really well done. Like the wordplay coming out from you there. But Cloudy, now the main man for his team at the moment in this round. Ivor versus Cloudy, the 2 top fraggers of both teams. Cloudy obviously less HP now, and he's going to be contested. Free Fire is coming out. Will he be able to get spotted out? He does get spotted out by Ivor. Some shots getting swung through. Will he be able to run away? He does get contested by another player. That's Noctos at the end of White Corridor, picking him off there, trying now to do that vertical sledge there for his team to put pressure on those defenders once again. But now it's a 2 versus 2 situation. 40 seconds left for Dark Esports to try and make it execute. Ivor sneaking down the stairs. Noctos low on HP. He is on 25 HP, so he has to be worried about that. Ivor peeking now this laundry angle. Will he be spotted out? Will they know his location? They're going to try and pinch out this play in reading library. The 2 angles being pushed through. The shield play coming out from Yebo Gaming. Really well done from them. They do not know the location of these 2 attackers. Yebo being unaware. Their Prince is losing quite a lot of HP, but Ivor peeking the wrong angle and gets picked off. He is down, but refrag there and picks off, finished off there. The plant is down and Noctos getting one for himself. That Sky's off the board. He is on a triple kill for himself at the moment. Now left in the 1 versus 1. HP advantage to Yebo Gaming. The C4 does come swinging out. The bait of this diffuser will be going out. The nade also going to be attempted here, being cooked there to try and stop this play from being pushed out. And there we go, the nade finishing off Pretzels, and it did destroy the Goyo shield. So once again, that shield play not working in favor for Yebo Gaming and working in favor of the attackers of Dark Esports. Well done from them there to get that plant down and hold that post-plant situation. Well, really, really well played there.
How did that grenade get to that Goyo shield? That's
Sure.
that was amazing. That was amazing. But well played by Dark Esports, especially to the last 2 players left, isolating the defenders and really focusing on the one defender. Unluckily, they didn't know where the Goyo was near the end and eliminated Ivor, but the sledge, which I believe was Noctos, managed to clutch it out. So well played by them and well tried by Yebo Gaming. It was really close.
Indeed it was, but
Attackers need to
Yebo
locate
Gaming
and
getting that
defuse as many
initial
bombs as they can.
advantage and then just losing it there to the end. I think they played a bit too aggressive and they weren't playing with each other. That Roma, Cloudy not being able to rotate quick enough and then getting pressured from different angles might have been the deficit for them in that round. As if he stayed alive and kept that advantage to his team, then it would have been a much better or much more different round and in their favor, because they would have had the HP advantage, the man advantage, and they would have been able to hold those angles that Dark Esports chose to push through.
It's looking like a heavy piano hold right now, and as we know, piano is one of the most important map areas in Cafe to get hold of. You have piano, you can work with a lot, you can rotate to other places, and you can fan out from there and take your respective positions. So it'll be interesting to see where Dark Esports pushes this time around. Ivor has switched off of the Amaru and the Knock and has gone onto the Hibana. It's a pretty multifaceted player, this Ivor person, because he's been shown to be a frag heavy person, and now he's switched over to a more support role. And Hibana, having a good gun, can switch over to the more frag heavy operator. So we'll see what plans he has with this op.
Indeed, but looking on the side of both teams, the players really performing, but Naka on that Thermite and Pretzels on that Wamai really struggling in these rounds. So I think if they start picking it up a bit, maybe there's something, affecting them from, really just playing to their full potential. If they can step it up, it could be then anybody's game from there. Obviously, Dark Esports is in the lead at the moment, and with Naka going 0 for 4, he is playing support. He is still at least giving that Ronin intel for his team, but still, needless to say, maybe if he gets a couple picks or two, he can bring the advantage even more in favor of his team. And if Pretzels can stick up on his side, he will be able to then even up the scoreline for his team.
Yeah. That is a very critical position that Skies is in and gets eliminated by Naka, as you were talking about him right now. Cloudy gets a pick onto somebody else as Ivor gets a pick onto Tree Frog. So it is now a 3v4 in courtesy of Knockdog. Get us another kill, and kills are coming in left, right, and center, but it's only Cloudy and Pretzel left. Will they be able to hold it off? There's 4 attackers and they have the sights around it. Momentarily about to open the freezer, so it's about to get harder for Cloudy and Pretzel. Cloudy's the closest one next to Pretzel, and he's going to be challenging the sledge. The shot doesn't hit, and Knockdog eliminates Cloudy, leaving Pretzel alone. Will he be able to hold it off? There's only 32 seconds left. Yes, do something, but not looking behind him as Ivor finishes him off on the Hibana.
Well done there from Dark Esports to take a 4-2 split on their attacks on Cafe. Cafe being a defender-sided map, so interesting for them as now they go back to the advantage side on their defense as the split there. But well done from their Dark Esports to really execute that perfectly. But Yebo Gaming not looking so good in that defense round. They might have been able to just switch it up a bit if they played more together and not getting those 2 initial opening deaths. It really just put a lot of pressure on them. But needless to say, we can't take anything away from Dark Esports as they are playing exceptionally well.
Indeed, they did play well. And I was looking at, I think it was Skies' position, and I think he may have overstayed his welcome there on Pixel. Soon as that white stairs window was open, I think that was his cue to either fall back into freezer and rotate to the white stairs balcony side of things. But he chose to stick around, and he didn't get shot from the window. But I mean, it was a dangerous position to stay in with that window open nonetheless. But I'm sure they'll be rectifying that in future games. So now we see Dark Esports on defense, and they're going to be going to the bar area as their first choice.
Cocktail bar for their first site, the more default site for most teams. So now being able to do that, we'll have to see how they can hold out their defense. Just Ivor here on that vigil, going to be the main roamer for his team at the moment. You can see why, as he's going 10 for 3 at the moment. It's a very good score coming out from him, and from Yebo Gaming side, the top frag there is Cloudy with going 8 and 4. So Ivor obviously being the one on top there, but needless to say, I believe on the attacking side, both teams have the chance to maybe come back through. I'm not sure what is going on there with Skies teabagging his teammates, showing a bit of love, just waiting for the information, I guess. But the attack is now coming through.
He's probably waiting for his teammates. They have a job to do, so he's probably waiting for them. But as we saw there, the Ayana does have a Gone 6 in hand, so I'm curious to see where that is going to be utilized, because you only get 1 shot, and if you waste it, that is heavy utility just gone to waste. So I'm dying to see what he uses it on, as he has a tree frog into, but guys, puts one into Ivor's head and sends Ivor out of the lobby. That is one of the main roamers of Dark Esports eliminated. That's a heavy blow to Dark Esports. There's the Gon 6 being used, but I think it got captured by a ADS or a Wamai, but they don't have a Wamai, so it was an ADS. That's the thing about the Gon 6, ladies and gentlemen. You have to burn the ADSs and able to use it, or I guess you can use it to burn the ADS, but you only burn in the ADS once and then you don't have anything to destroy the shield with, so you have to call out a teammate.
Ayana, obviously being one of those operators that do have a lot of utility now, she can be a big counter to some of those shield plays, as she has the Gon 6 like he was speaking of. But maybe she wanted to burn the ADS with the Gon 6, get a couple flashes from her team, but speaking of that, she won't be able to do it as she does get picked off by Naka. That's the first pick for Dark Esports there, getting the refrag, but very late refrag, but needless to say, a refrag indeed. Now, the advantage to Dark Esports, not really Dark Esports, well, as I say that, it is the advantage in Dark Esports. The caster's curse there as Wavy gets a pick onto Tree Frogs. That's the buck out of the game. All up to the Hibana now, trying to peek out. He gets picked off there. Wavy getting second for himself, and Naka getting the second one as well. That's Cloudy off of the board, leaving it all up to the Sledge. It's Pretzels on the Sledge, not having the best game so far, but hopefully now he can prove himself in this 1v4 situation. He does have 20 seconds left, however, so he has to start making an attempt to push into sight.
15 seconds remaining.
I see Justin is living in the future,
exposed.
predicting kills that are gonna
10
come,
seconds left.
but didn't think he was gonna predict this one with the Sledge. He might be able to do something, but not, because there's only 3 seconds left of the round and he's nowhere near the diffuser or any other player, so he's just gonna stick it out and wait for the next round.
Indeed, maybe he sat back and waited for his team. You know, obviously a 1 versus 4, a difficult situation to clutch out, especially with 20 seconds left on the board. So maybe he used those 20 seconds to sit with his team just a bit, talk about the mistakes they made in that attacking round, and maybe just get some good pointers and adaptations for their upcoming rounds, as they do now have to attack on that kitchen service areas. So that Ying being brought out there from Cloudy, I wonder if it will be 6-pick, but a complete counter to that is the Warden. So well done there from Dark Esports. It was 2 picks, so I don't think they would be able to really see it, but just a big coincidence there, as the 6-pick does come out, that Ying will no longer be on the board, the Hibana will be chosen instead, and that Pulse off of the board as well Mai gets picked out instead. So that Jaeger Mai combo
protect your
really
bombs
just
from
going to
being
support
defused
the
by
defense
attackers.
now. Sorry, there's no Jaeger on the board. That is my mistake.
There is a discount Jaeger, whichever way you see it, on the Xeno using the Wamai. So that's a Jaeger in itself, except the fact that the Jaeger is infinite and the magnets do finally get destroyed at some point when they are activated or catch any sort of device. So yeah, this is an interesting lineup. I mean, Legion, Wamai, Warden, and Aruni. I've never seen this lineup before, especially for Kitchen at that. A Kitchen, you want a Jaeger, or mostly teams use a Jaeger, and sometimes a Kaid, but a Bandit will sure work as well. But a Spawn Peak coming out of Wavy, having a heavy blow onto Yebo Gaming, eliminating the Ace. They still have the Hibana, but it makes it even more harder to attack the site this time.
Yeah, really well done there from Wavy to get that initial pick there. I do believe him playing on the Warden could be to support those flash grenades coming out. Obviously, the Jaeger not being in play, but the Wamai is still there. So maybe that Warden holding a very pivotal point to just, well, expect those flashes and not allow himself to get flashed. So that's somewhat of a smaller Jaeger, but it doesn't support his team, it just supports him. But him obviously making a big impact in this round, and maybe, you know, if he had a shield to hold a pivotal position, but he does not have that. He has a C4. He's opted to use that to maybe get a kill off of it. So like you said, very interesting. But the Rooney being played, that's the operator that I like to see being implemented. It's her first season being implemented to in play, and she's hasn't been used all that much, but seeing Dark Esports use her yesterday and today, it's very good to see that teams are adapting to the new meta and new playstyle.
And Tree Frog is showered with bullets as she runs
Attackers
away.
bomb diffuser has been
Cloudy in a very bad position at the moment. He needs a lot of help, and he's got that from Pretzel Boy, as there's somebody on red stairs on the bottom of red. But Cloudy gets away with killing Wavy, and Ivor refrags onto Cloudy. That's the refrag potential from Dark Esports that they're good at, and they're showing it off right now, leaving Yebo Gaming with only 3 man left, and Dark Esports with 4 players on the board still roaming around.
4 players with full HP on Dark Esports, really looking good for them, as Tree Fox is below 25 HP, so he has to be really cautious. If he can pick out one of these players, Dark Naka, they're just losing some HP from that wallbang as he is playing in that bar, but he's going to be contesting now Pretzels as he's in small bake on that sledge. These players now trying to contest these angles. It's just gunfire coming throughout from all different locations, as Pretzels now does decide to rotate, but he is unaware of the location of Ivor on the Legion, running through with these sights down, being down to 25 HP now as well, but maybe his teammate Stickman being able to support him, and no, that's not the case, as he does get finished off there. He gets down, but
10 seconds to
finished off, and now Pretzels has to peek out into Ivor. He does not get the kill, Ivor getting a second for himself, and now it's all up to Tree Frogs in a 1 versus 3. He does get spotted out, and Ivor getting the final kill there with the pistol to finish off the round. My words just ate me there a bit, but yeah, really well done.
Escaping us.
They are indeed.
Yo, where's the vertical play? Yebo Gaming. They had a sledge. They had a jackal with a shotgun. They had control over top floor, I do believe. If I'm wrong, please do let me know. But they did have control over the top floor of the site. They could have rotated up, did some work on the vertical gameplay to shift the defenders around, and I don't know, they could have done something else after a while. They were outside of the map and they overstayed those windows for too long, which allowed Dark Esports to reposition as they need fit, and it played very well for them and not so
Defenders,
good for
protect your
Yebo
bombs from
Gaming
being
in the
defused
end.
by attackers.
Indeed. Now Dark Esports being on match point, they have some rounds to work with, so they can really just now experiment and see what works best for them. That drone just teasing Wavy a bit, then another drone coming through, but he's not able to get the drones. I see he's trying to now knife them, just running around there, eventually finishing off the drone there. That's 1 drone off of the board for Yebo Gaming, so their drone
10
economy
seconds to go.
still looking very good at the moment, but that Mozzie going to be able to stop their drone economy, as he is a direct counter to those attackers'
Attackers
drones.
are moving
So
out
we
to
have to
locate
see
a bomb
how
and defuse it.
that makes an impact onto Yebo Gaming. But this angle here coming out for that cam, very interesting from Wavy. The attackers now coming out to the map. We have to see if they can change up their mistakes and if they can bring themselves back into the game.
Pretty interesting. Ooh, a couple of shots coming in, not sure from where, but pretty interesting to see the hatch being left soft from Dark Esports side in Piano. Wonder what's the mission there. Maybe they're going to use it to rotate down or do some sort of a flank or just an escape route being open
A
for
bomb has
them.
been located.
I thought Ash is taking a little bit of damage while going up, and she has to repel somewhere else. This is very intense for Yebo Gaming right now. They're trying to get to their respective positions and to a safe place where they can jump into the map. Didn't realize that there was a frost. I only saw that frost mat right now. If Yebo Gaming doesn't drone it out and realize this, they're going to be in way too much danger with that.
Oh,
Frost mat hit.
Recharge ready.
I don't believe the Frostmat hit. I believe it was Cloudy that jumped through and then shot the Frostmat, but that counter C4 underneath the Frostmat. Just the plays coming out from Dark Esports really just amazing me at this point, because I would have never thought to keep a pre-play C4 underneath the Frostmat, so that when it does get down, when a play does get down, you can finish him off. So good read there from Dark Esports. Really well done from them to get that initial pick. I do believe Cloudy's not going to be happy about that one, but now it's all up to his teammates as they are now left in a 4 versus 5 with a minute 10 left on the clock, and they're on match point, so they have to win this one out. And speaking of that, Ivor just adding onto the scoreboard for this round, really playing exceptionally well. That Sky's off the board, the Ash or her util will go to waste, but Stickman's now trying to push aggressively into the hallway, and Ivor lying prone on the floor, just waiting for him, getting the pick. Now that's a double for himself, a 5 versus 2 for Dark Esports. Ivor going 15 for 4, really just, you know, proving his worth at the moment, and Wavy adding onto the scoreboard there, and then the final kill coming out there for the Mozzie of Zeno, bringing Dark Esports to a 7-2 victory.
They didn't even get close to sights. They were stuck on the top floor, and Dark Esports had a ton of surprises, including that C4 paired up with the Frostmat, which was insane to see. Yeah, all it took was a drone. I mean, you do need to drone out where you want to jump into sometimes. In fact, most of the times. In fact, 99% of the time. So that was interesting by Dark Esports, especially with that Frostmat and C4 combination. And they gave us a lot of surprises in this matchup, and their aggression, not too aggressive, a very controlled aggression, and that's really good to see. I'm loving Dark Esports gameplay so far. Yebo Gaming, they came close in a couple of rounds here and there, but it just wasn't enough to trip up Dark Esports.
Well, that's the end for Yebo Gaming, as they did lose all 3 of their games throughout yesterday and today's play days. So unfortunately for them, they won't be able to go into the playoffs. They will be going down to the lower bracket. For everybody that doesn't know how the tournament works, the dual elimination system means that if you get kicked out of your group stages, you still have a second life. So you will then go down into the lower brackets and face off there, and really, you know, just be able to get that second life and maybe climb the ranks to the top and be able to meet it back in the grand finals. So for that, this matchup was very interesting, needless to say, William. It was very not really one-sided. We did see quite a few plays coming out from both teams and just working out in favor of Dark Esports in the end. So really proud of them in that matchup. They really proved themselves. They really showed their potential and just all out gave it their all. So for now, if you guys want, you can go check out the giveaway on the Twitter. That's World League ESP. And also like and subscribe. We really appreciate all your guys' support. We will be back shortly with a small intermission as we do wait for the matchup against OG and Runshark White, which will start soon at 2 p.m.
Right.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence. In the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You're the night sky hiding behind dark gray clouds. I can't figure you out now. I see your blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where our two paths align. But you're the night sky. I'm trying to see your stars, but I've always feared the dark. Now I see violet. I can feel your silence. You always feel so far when your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound. I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky.
You and I don't together like we can change the weather and all these bills I can do it. I was really hoping for. Why would you and I don't together like we can change the weather and I'm as blue as you shine. You're as blue as the open sky. All these bills I can do it. I was really hoping for. Why would you and I don't together like we can change the weather and
Welcome back, ladies and gents. My name is William, and to the left or right of me is Justin, and welcome back to WLE 10K. We've had a couple of matches so far. It's been 2 matches. One was in Clubhouse, one was in Cafe, and we're now moving back to Cafe. So it's another story of repeated matches, just repeated maps. Justin, we saw a lot of Oregon, and now we're seeing a lot of Cafe. What's up?
It does look like that, like we're having that bit of repetition coming out from the teams there. But today's matchup, however, right now, is OG versus Runshock. So that's going to be a very, very interesting game. I'm really excited for this matchup because 2 very strong teams, 2 titans in the SA community battled out to try and get that number 1 spot in their groups and their pools to maybe get a better position for their playoffs. So we'll have to see how that one goes out. But it's going to be a very interesting match. We will be starting to get underway with this match. We are just waiting for some of the players and the match will be starting. So we're a bit of just consistent in time or wrong timing there. But William, what are your thoughts about this matchup and who are you backing for this one?
For this one, I'm gonna put my money on Runshock. They've been showing up lately, so I'm hoping they show up again this time. And even though we've seen Cafe in the previous match and we've seen Omnius Gaming in the first match, today it will be a completely different atmosphere this time around. Hopefully Omnius Gaming didn't exert their energy in the previous match, and for Runshock it's their first match, and hopefully they've warmed up with a little bit of T-Hunt or whatsoever, what you need to do. And yeah, getting onto the ban phases, Monty's been banned again. Monty's not going to see the light of day in this tournament, except, yeah. And Wamai's been banned out as well, and Jackal. And I mean, I've been anticipating bans and I've been wrong all the time, so I'm not even going to anticipate this one.
Or I believe this is going to be a Valkyrie ban. I'm calling it now. You can kick me if I'm wrong, but I believe for this matchup, Valkyrie is going to be the most, really pressured one, and I'm wrong once again. That Mira being the banned operator this time. So more similar operator bans once again. Those Spanish operators, Jackal, Mira, not seeing any light of day to get any play at all. We did see Jackal able to be played in the previous matchup. He didn't make too much of an impact in that match, but obviously Doc Esports played an exceptional game of Siege then. Now, however, the Thatcher is on the board for OG on their attacks, so that's going to really support them. They don't really need to bring a secondary hard breach now or bring, let's say, a Kylie for that help. Maybe it could bring an IQ, but the Thatcher just going to be so much better for them. They are now able to use that in combination with that ace, and we do have a 6 pick now coming out from the Sophia to the Blackbeard for Ergo and the Pulse to the Maestro for Delphox. So very interesting 6 picks, but needless to say, hopefully for their team's sakes, it will really be the impactful operator that they need for the round.
Located by attackers.
Yep, and yeah, seeing that Thatcher's on the board, executions, I'm expecting executions to be intense and heavy. Greedy and I presume Vlad are going to be holding the bakery side of things. They're going to fight for life in that area, or they might fall back, into prep. And Newick struggling with the drone a little bit there, and you can see his frustration as he puts down a bulletproof cam to spy out the whiskey side of things for any attacker pushing onto that side. So a setup looks like it's pretty nifty around here with that castle door closing off whiskey, and Patat is going to be playing in Christmas area side of things. And let's see what the attackers have in store for this defense.
Just want to talk about that Maestro quickly. He's not playing the older with that 81 round mag, the older being a very impactful gun for the defense. He's playing the shotgun, the AA-12. But speaking of the defense, that's Nivik off of the board. The Castle, the first one to get taken out there. Good play from Hansi there to get the first pick and the opening for his team. he is playing that ace, so he has lost quite a bit of HP now, but he still has his life to play with. A player does get spotted out there, Hunter getting a second, but Greedy getting 2 for himself there. That's Kaiko and Sandals off for the board. Well done from him there with that SMG-11, really making works with that. A 3 versus 3 with 2 minutes left. Very aggressive start to this game, but needless to say, it's probably going to die down now as a player's bomb is pointing out there, but Ergo not reacting to it, and now getting shot by that Maestro Cam falls out of Bakery.
The Blackbeard Ergo thought he would stand his ground, and there's drop shot working on the floor. That's gonna move whoever was peeking Ergo out of position. So maybe he might be able to kill him, or somebody else might be able to kill him. And with a name like Greedy, he's gonna go for that kill and get the kill onto Hansi and eliminates the ace out of the board. But the Sledge does have top floor control, and drop shot taking out Greedy, shutting Greedy down and leaving 2 players from each side. And the Ergo and drop shot do have control of the top floor, Ergo being on about 20 HP. They still have a lot of time left, 1 minute and 8 seconds, so an execute will momentarily come from them as the time dwindles down. And Patat and Delphox are gonna get into position and wait for this execute. Luckily, Delphox still has control of those evil eyes.
Having those evil eyes is going to be very impactful for him in this round, as Ergo is low on HP, but he is doing damage to drop shot instead, now taking a bit of HP, but still walking away with his life there. Now watching that angle onto Freezer, waiting for these players to peek. He does have Twitch control, and there's the first pick for Patat, getting Ergo off of the board, just finishing off there, and Delphox with that AA-12, getting the final pick there onto drop shot, winning out the round for his team and bringing them to the advantage in this matchup, bring it to a 1-0 scoreline in Cafe.
Good hold from Run Shark. They stood their positions. They played their positions really well, even though they lost more players than what they would have liked to, but it worked out in the end. Well tried by Omnis Gaming. Seems like they were making good time in terms of the attack and execution. I think they just lost too many men to make that execution happen.
Indeed, that is the case, but now they do have a second attempt on their attack, as now they have to attack the top floor. So hopefully their top floor attack is a lot better than their bottom floor attack for OG. But Run Shark now bringing a very interesting lineup for their upstairs defense. That Maestro once again, I'm wondering if Delphox is playing that AA-12 once again, or if he will play the default, the older, yes. Sorry, thank you for correcting me there.
I tried to sneak it in there.
It's okay. But we'll have to just see how that works out there, as Greedy is trying to make rotates here, but struggling a bit. And there we go, the shots coming out from Delphox. I just hear it spamming there in the distance. That is the AA-12 once again. Delphox bringing that gun to the board. Maybe he can make a lot more impact this round. He did get the final kill the previous round, so he did have quite a bit of impact, but we have to see how much he can make it in this round.
And Patat on that Melusi with those Banshees. She's been having a presence in this Cafe map. Drop shot might be able to get a pick onto somebody rotating onto Pixel. I'm pretty sure he does hear a couple of footsteps from the Melusi. If the Melusi gets a little bit crafty, she might be able to just pre-fire that window and eliminate drop shot, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It's going to be a standoff between those 2 or 3, as a lot of OG's game operators are rappelling on windows and waiting for someone to rotate. And drop shot, his patience pays off, finally gets a pick onto Greedy, but Newick refrags onto somebody else. I think it was on Sandals, and to make it a 4v4 man count.
That Thatcher being picked off for OG, the first pick for them not really the best operator to, lose right at the beginning, but good pick from Runshark to take that player. Obviously, both picks actually from both sides. The smoke being taken off, that's greedy. Obviously, he was playing exceptionally well with that SMG-11. Now no longer being able to play with that and wasting all
Attackers have
3
located a
smoke
bomb.
canisters. There's not much delay from him going to be burnt out in this round. There is still the Malusi gadget and that Maestro cams to give intel and just delay these attackers that they try to make this execute into Cigar Shop and Piano.
That ace charge was placed a little too high as they're unable to vault over. Delphox eliminating Ergo with that AA, and Patat gets a pick of his own onto drop shot. This is looking really bad for Omnius Gaming, but Runshark is sitting pretty, and Kaiko gets a pick onto Newick on that Ash. She took a little bit of damage, but her damage is done onto somebody else. 2 players left, Hunty and Kaiko, and Vlad gets a pick onto Kaiko as he
Attackers
tries to
have
push
recovered their
into
diffuser.
White Hallway. This could be really detrimental to Omnius Gaming. There's only 31 seconds left. He does have 2 smoke canisters left, so he could make a play right here, but he has to eliminate 3 of Runshark's players.
He is on low HP, and the player peeking there from Pixel, that's Vlad with the bandit, that MP7, just making works with it in that round, getting a double for himself, and just clutching out that round in that 1 versus, well, not really 1 versus 3, a 3 versus 1 for Runshark. So well done from him there to just finishing it off and bring Runshark to an even bigger margin, as they are now 2-0 on their defense. Obviously Cafe being a defender-sided map, so we're not going to count OG out just yet, but they do have quite a bit to work on if they want to get a couple rounds in their attacks.
Well said. I mean, they are on defense, which is expected. You are gonna, well, on paper, you should be getting more rounds on defense. So OG needs to change something up a little bit, or they need to, I don't know, they need to change something up basically to get a couple of more rounds onto the board, or they need to just keep doing the same thing and hope
Attackers need to
that
locate
at
and
some
defuse
point
as many
something
bombs
gives and they're able to crack Runshark's defense. But at the moment, Runshark doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. They are bringing different operators for every side, so you can see they have a plan, and that plan is working out for them, and they're going to be continuing to put all of their plans into fruition as they are bringing a Doc on a Newick. I'm curious to see where he's going to play and what
10 seconds
the
left.
reasons
Attackers have
are to
located a
bring the
bomb.
Doc.
Well, Doc having that 1.5 and the MP5 at his disposal, really good utility from that, and obviously maybe that bulletproof cam is what they need for a bit more info. Obviously not playing a Valkyrie, but also those Doc stims really going to be impactful for his team, because if he is able to stay alive and use it correctly, he can put a lot of pressure on these attackers and then just stim himself back up, or he can stim his teammates if they take damage. So Doc, a very interesting operator, needless to say, but not the most useless operator for the defense. But on the attack, they do have that Ying, so bringing a bit of aggressiveness for OG. Hopefully it is what they need to pressure out these attackers, as they are holding upstairs control for their reading dining defense.
Yep, it's going to be a heavy hold onto Cocktail, I think it is. I don't know if it has been extended onto Piano. That grenade may land. No, it's not. There is an ADS to help out Patat on the Jaeger. So they are holding that area quite a lot. So it's going to be difficult for Ergo and his teammates to push up. There's going to be some heavy coordination that's required to get these players out of that position. So those are very powerful positions to be in. And yeah, so far it's looking like they have control over Piano, but they need to push up deeper into the map. Newick eliminates Hansi, and that is it for the ace. No breaching charges for him and no hard breaches, so that is concerning for OG at this point.
A refrag coming out there from Kaiko, from the Thatcher. Well done from him there to get Nevik off the board. All three of his stims now not being able to be used on his teammates to support him. Patat is going to be able to, or he has to stay on that HP, not being able to get boosted up a bit at all. They do have top floor control. OG now trying to make it execute on from that top floor, getting that vertical, doing that vertical play with the sledge, really just making it work a bit. But they have 50 seconds left on the clock, so they have to start thinking about where they want to execute, maybe get up one or two more picks and then start making a push into the site. We do see these players from Runshock just playing in the perfect positions, and drop shot peeking out unaware. He was trying to peek Brown stairs there, but there is a refrag. Ergo getting the pick onto him, and now having a standoff in this player in mining. Just a 3 versus 3 now, but Ergo trying to push into the site. That's greedy with the smoke, just watching the angle. SMG11 from range, really see how that works, and Ergo being timed there by Vlad, but there's a team kill, Patat killing Vlad, so unfortunate from him there, but Kaiko getting picked off there by Greedy, and Sandals dropping the hatch unaware of Patat's location. Patat just getting the final pick there after getting that team kill, so getting himself 2 picks for the round and just finishing it out there, bringing his team up to a 3-0. So that's a full site rotation for Runshock on their defense.
That was a very close call with that team kill near the end. You don't want something like that to happen at all, but they rectified it and clutched out the round nonetheless. So, Newick, Greedy, Patat, Vlad, and Delphox going to be heading onto Kitchen, and it seems like it's almost a similar lineup except for the Oryx. I think they had somebody else, and it is a Clash coming in. Yeah, so Clash is normally banned in this tournament, as we've seen, but now we're going to see some Clash action, and I'm curious to see how effective she is, especially in Kitchen.
Indeed, Clash has been banned, and you want to know why she's been banned constantly, so help us down in chat, because in my opinion, the only reason why she's constantly banned is because she's just annoying to go against, and she can really hold some areas down, but I'm not sure from any other player's perspective or other people's perspective. But for that case, in this cafe game, she is able to get played, and she is probably going to be able to put a lot of a pressure on those attacks if they try to push aggressively into Bakery and just hold those pivotal points for them. But we do see the Ayana coming out from Sandals. So Sandals obviously a very talented player, and in an operator like Ayana, really going to be able to perform because he has that 1-6, he has the nades, and he has a beautiful gun, that G36C, just making it works on her with that 2-time. So we have to see how well he can utilize her to execute and maybe pressure out this clash from Bakery.
True indeed. And speaking of the Clash, he's going to be holding down Bakery, which is normally Jaeger's position. So we'll see how this goes down. They did close off the small Bakery area there, so that might give the attackers a couple of... No, and Clash, I don't know if she contested that, but Sandals does eliminate the Vlad of the Clash. And that is bad news, as Newick is also taken out of the picture in the midst of all the action. There's the Evil Eye being destroyed. OG is making good progress right now. They've turned up the aggression, and it's working very well for them. They're not stopping anytime soon. And somebody does get a lot of damage put onto them as the Bakery wall gets open. This is intense right now. Greedy eliminating one of his teammates. That's Delphox out of the picture. This is not looking good for Runshock at all. And Greedy is downed but not out in that same time frame, and Patat taking shots in the back as well, and he's down to about 5 HP. This was a nightmare for Runshock right now as the plant is coming down.
3 versus 2, the players of Runshock are very low on HP. As I say that, Patat gets picked off there by Ergo. Good pick from him. Now 1 versus 3 for Greedy. He finds his player, but he gets refragged there from drop shot in that post-plant situation. So really well played from OG to execute that. I also just want to talk, I believe it is Caster's curse, but I said that OG need to step up their aggression if they want to really play something. They did. I said that Sandals on Ayana was going to perform and, very pivotal operator, and he did. So I think I'm just either reading time, like you said previously, or I believe it is just that Caster curse. But you need just to say from that, it is a 3-1 scoreline for OG as they did get their first round. So hopefully they can use that momentum to carry on going. But maybe the momentum will be broken as we are going into a rehost called from Runshark White.
Yeah, some light switch went off in OG's heads, and the aggression just went from about 5 to 150. And it worked out really well for them as they were able to isolate a lot of Run Sharks defenders and pick them off one by one, especially around the bakery and small bakery side. I believe closing off small bakery was a bad idea from Run Shark. It worked against the clash as she was pushed deeper into prep, and I don't know if she contested it and put her shield down. I mean, you have a walking mirror in front of you for your players behind you, so there's no need for you to put your shield down and contest anyone. But I believe he did nonetheless and got taken out, and it just went downhill from there.
I think what might have happened is either he turned to a bit to the left as Sandals was sitting above that bakery door on the rappel holding from above. So maybe it was just a slight little peak or pixel that he was able to spot out from Lad trying to rotate. Maybe the shield was busy bouncing back and forth and then exposing her. But needless to say, she did get picked off there. But OG's attack was very, very well played. They pushed aggressively into bakery. They took control of it very swiftly, and then they just held it out from there. They did a lot of damage onto those defenders and took out, I believe it was 2 in the first 30 seconds to a minute of the round. So that's, in my opinion, very well executed and very, very well played. And then they were able to get that post plant down and, hold it out and really just clutch it after, all the action that happened.
There was almost nothing stopping them at that time. I mean, Run Shark ended up killing one of their own players. It seems to be happening quite a lot in this matchup. They need to get a hand on it and eliminate those kind of mistakes, because you don't want those. And the first couple of rounds, they did it. It didn't bite them, but this time it worked heavily against them. So Run Shark needs to get a hold on that and patch out those mistakes, because you don't want that to be happening in this level of siege.
Also, if you guys are just tuning in with us now, the score is currently 3-1 versus OG and Run Shark. Their matchup for today, the Cafe, is their map that they are playing. We still have we actually have 4 other games later on today, so stay tuned. We will have a break after this at about 3 till 5 p.m. This is the last game for now, but we will see you guys later. Just bear with us. We are busy with the Rio, so don't go anywhere. The action will come back. We will be keeping you entertained as well. If you guys are unaware of the giveaway, which is taking place on the World League Esports Twitter page, that's World League ESP on Twitter. You guys comment down below who you want to win the finals, or who do you think will win the finals, and then you'll stand a chance to be entered in the giveaway. The prizes are a sexy mousepad and a beautiful t-shirt. I believe you guys will stand a chance to win those, so stay tuned and enter now, as it's really exciting prizes.
Now, I'm curious to see what you guys think is gonna take this tournament. So get those tweets going and support your favorite teams. Justin, so far it's looking like it's the Run Sharks game, but judging by that round from OG, they've woken up the beast at this point, and it might be heavy.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. Well, I believe, obviously, Cafe being a defender-sided map, so Run Shark took a full rotation on their defense, bringing it to a 3-0 scoreline. Then OG in that previous round really coming out and showing their potential and their aggression that they need just to expose, and really taking advantage of Run Shark's unawareness and just their lack of proper positioning. Just taking control of that and getting their first round, bringing it to a 3-1 scoreline. I don't think it is Run Shark's game at the moment, because OG obviously giving it their all in their attacks. Defender-sided map, they did well in their previous attack. If they can keep that momentum going and bring it to a tight 3-3 split, it will be anybody's game from there on the defense, because Run Shark's attacks are also really good. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But if it comes to a 4-2 or 5-1 split for Runshark, then I believe OG really have a problem, because then it needs a lot of motivation and a lot of mental capacity for them to try and push back and just keep themselves in the game and try and bring it to a more even scoreline.
Legendary analysis from the man himself, Justin. And as the players are getting into the lobby, yep, I do not know. Oh, well, slowly, as production says, but we will finally get there and get the match going. So yeah, I don't know what Runshark needs to do or change. In my opinion, they just need to keep doing what they're doing, except for the TKs. Ease up on the team killing, and yeah, stay in the correct positions. They seem to be getting out of position here and there, and it's kind of giving OG the opportunity to eliminate them. And OG is kind of realizing the cracks here and there, so they're taking advantage of it. And as we saw from the previous round, they took full advantage of Runshark's negligence. So we'll see what the future rounds hold, and whether Runshark is going to wake up and use this little bit of time to re-strategize and rethink their strategy, or is Omnius Gaming going to do the same and ride off the previous round's momentum?
Indeed. Now OG have it all to do. They are in the disadvantaged position as of now. So their attacks have to be perfect from here on out if they want to bring a bit of that evenness in their attacks when they go to that defense. It does look like we have most of the players in the lobby, but we're still waiting shortly for one of the players. Speaking of the game, however, for the next upcoming rounds, William, what do you think we're going to see more of? Like, if we can give some casters predictions and just see, if some of it comes true, what do you think we can expect from this matchup?
I'm scared to say anything because you've already cursed them enough, So, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna see more of OG's aggression be more prevalent. They know exactly what they did the previous round, and they've realized that this has to be done now. Whether Runshark notices that, or maybe they probably thinking they got lucky on that round, I don't think they should be taking anything lightly. They should just take it as, whoa, boys, look, they figured out our strategy and they're coming full force. We need to do the same. Sometimes meeting aggression with aggression could help you out. Not just senseless aggression, but just controlled aggression. You don't want to be too aggressive on defense, which is sometimes what Siege turns out to be. There's like a little bit of a stigma where defenders turn into attackers and attackers turn into defenders. I don't understand how it happens, but yeah. So what I see in the future coming rounds is Omnius Gaming being way more aggressive, and it might work out for them. And if Runshark doesn't watch out, then they're going to be in trouble.
Indeed, Runshark need to try and now not allow OG to bring anything from their attacks. For OG, however, they have to keep that momentum going. They have to keep that aggression that really they just strive on to get these following rounds for them. Also, just want to speak about, I believe, the operator that I've been talking the most about, William, is Aruni, and how she is not seen not a lot of play in this new tournament. She is available to be played in the new season. So we saw a couple teams play her now and then and not really have a big impact. So hopefully maybe we see Aruni being played on Cafe, because I believe she can make a big impact. Those doorways being able to be stopped out and just, have to waste utility, and especially for those late rounds where you have to push through the doorways, it's going to be very interesting to see, and hopefully one of the two teams do implement Aruni in their upcoming strats.
Yeah. I agree with you, Justin, and I think she has potential. I just think players haven't found that true Aruni playstyle or Aruni potential just yet. I mean, you kind of have to. You only have 3 laser doors, right? You kind of have to decide which doors you're putting it on. And I think on one of the matches in the earlier stages of the tournaments, what I thought was happening was that Aruni was holding on to 2 of her laser gates just to see where the attackers are pushing in from, and then she was going to use them later. But that player, I guess, was just negligent in that utility. But maybe that's how it could be used sometimes, because as soon as you put the gate down, it's there. Like, you can't take it off anymore, right? So maybe it does help to hold on a bit longer to the gate before you put it down, or I don't know. It just, she still has to be figured out, is what I'm trying to get at.
Indeed, I believe teams just need to find out the best possible solutions and areas to play her in their strats. But speaking of strats, we do see the teams back into the game, and we'll have to see how OG's strategies on their attacks can really support them in their next upcoming rounds, or if Runshock's strats will be able to counter OG and really put pressure on them and bring themselves to an even greater margin on their defense.
As they go up to Bar and Cocktail, similar lineup, except we're seeing a Warden in Bar and Cocktail. I don't believe they have bought a Warden for this site. So maybe last time they saw that they had a Ying for the top floor, and so they do need to bring a Warden. But nonetheless, Vlad is still on the Castle and Patat is still on the Jaeger, and they need to watch out for that White Stairs window, because they've been getting caught out quite a bit from that side of things.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Indeed, it does look like a completely different operator lineup, but we still see that AA12 being played by Delphox. So we'll have to see how much of an impact he can carry on making in the rest of these rounds. He has done quite well with it, needless to say, of his scoreline. Obviously, having that Rios, we don't know what the scores are from the players, but obviously that AA12 going to be able to put a lot of pressure. It's able to make rotates, and it has that 2-time sight. Maybe he wants to play a bit of range with Maestro and not play with that holographic or red dot sight on the or on the older. And speaking of that, drop shot gets the first pick. That's Patat off the round there. The Jaeger no longer being able to be played in this round, being sent back off now with the advantage in favor of OG. Really looking much better for them on the attack, as Delphox also takes quite a bit of HP.
Yep, they took out Patat on their way up to the building. You can't complain about that, except for Patat being man down for his team. They're going to be met with the Warden sitting on top of a ticket, and they'll be dealing with him momentarily. They've got the right operators to deal with him, but Delphox sending drop shot to the ether. It's not going to be coming back in this round at all. No Sledge. And as it comes to a 4v4 man count, he was eliminated on that white window. So it's nice to see that Runshock is dealing with it, and they do know about that problem that's been bothering them for so long. Now, Kaiko is up on the skylight. Seems like he hit somebody with those bullets, but Newick gets a pick onto Ergo, as Kaiko gets a pick of his own onto Delphox, equalizing the man count. And this is a full-on assault onto the piano. Greedy being greedy again, getting a pick onto Sandals. This is looking crazy right now. It's a 2v3.
2 versus 3 in favor of Runshock. Greedy obviously being at 50 HP, but these two players from OG being on 100 HP each, and the other two players from Runshock also on 100 players each. So a bit of an advantage to the side of Runshock as well, with time being ticking down on the board. 55 seconds left on the clock. These players of OG have to try and find these players and really just try and put pressure, as Kaiko finds out Vlad peeking that freezer angle there all the way back from Cigar Shop, now bringing the advantage to his favor and to his team's favor, as Hansi gets greedy. That's him off of the board. The smoke canisters not being able to be used. Now one did come swinging out, but it's all up to Nivik in a 1 versus 2. He has 30 seconds left on the clock. He can just play time. The red ping's coming out. They're giving the information to him on where to peek and what angles to watch, but these two players on OG have to do it all. The smoke comes running out, the ping coming out from the defuse. Shots do get fired out as Hansi loses quite a bit of HP, but he does rotate off onto the plant. More pings coming out. Nivik has to do it all here. The angles not being peeked at the moment. 10 seconds left on the clock. Kaiko peeking these angles, watching it close. He's trying to go for this diffuser. He does spot out. Will he spot out the play on diffuser right down? No, he doesn't, but he spots out Kaiko. That's one pick for him now, a 1 versus 1 post-plant situation. He has 40 seconds left on the clock, but he has to do it all. He has to find out this play. He does have the HP advantage, and he wins out the gunfight against Hansi there. Well done from Nevik to clutch out that round and get the diffuser down. Excellently clutched out, excellently played from him, just making wonders for his team at the moment and bringing them to a 4-1 scoreline.
What a back and forth right there on that round. At some point, it seemed like it was going to be RunSharks, then Omnius Gaming took the advantage and RunShark took it right back thanks to that clutch on Newick. I was just about to say the saving grace for him in that round, in that particular moment, was the fact that he's using a Warden. So if any smokes come out for an execute, he will be able to see right through it. But he didn't need his glasses or watch at all. All he needed was the MPX. And he clutched that round. Well played for him being the hero for that round.
Indeed, being the hero. His teammates as well, really supporting him in that round. We saw the information coming through. I don't believe they found where that camera was spotting them from. The red pings, just really supporting him in that round, really giving him all that information that he needed, and then just using it to his advantage, winning out his gunfights and clutching out the round. So really well played from him there. On the side of OG, however, very dire situation for them, as they are currently 1 for 4 on the scoreline. So they have to win out another round if they want to have more of an even scoreline on their attacks. Obviously getting the normal default 4-2, but if RunShark get that 5-1 lead for them, it is going to be very difficult for them on their defense for OG.
Now, the only sort of good news for OG is that they've won Kitchen before, so at least they have confidence in this side. But a RunShark could have changed up a couple of things if they've realized what they did wrong in the previous side of Kitchen, and Omnius Gaming needs to turn up the aggression just a tad a bit more to match what they did when they won the Kitchen side of things, and it seems like that's what they're going to be doing. EMPs come flying in with ass charges in tow to eliminate any of those ADSs, because we know if you disable an ADS, it only takes 10 seconds for it to come back live, and Dropshot is alive right now, taking out Greedy. It's a full-on assault onto the bakery side of things, and Sandals gets a pick. Somebody else from RunShark gets a pick, but the trade is in favor of Omnius Gaming right now. The Clash is alive, so that's good news for RunShark. She's been aggressive as ever. Slash pushing in with the grenade. The Clash is playing a dangerous game right now. He's gonna peek both of the attackers on that round.
Oh, Sandals getting the pick there. That's Delphox off of the board. He was playing the Clash, and now it's all up to bad in a 1 versus 3. Not able to make much of that. He does get a pick onto Dropshot, but Kaiko getting the refrag there, getting the final kill for his team in the round and for their split, and bringing them to a 4-2 split. Much better run for OG. It looks like they have their Kitchen attack set on what they need to do, and they executed it perfectly once again. However, for RunShark, maybe they have to go back to that drawing board and fix out their Kitchen defense, because that is the second time they've lost it, if I'm not mistaken. But for OG's sake, they are happy that they won it, because now they have a bit of ease on their shoulders as they do go to that defense. Obviously still being disadvantaged, but they still do have a lot to, really prove on their defense.
True indeed. So now they're going to be bringing sort of similar kind of operators. You see both these teams utilizing the Maestro and the Jaeger. The Jaeger being expected, and they're going to be bringing a Rooney as well. So we'll see what OG has planned for a Rooney. I'm also curious to see that, because we were talking about her earlier, saying that she hasn't really found a place in the meta just yet. So we'll see what the plan is right now. OG needs to catch up about 2 rounds to make it an equal score count. And seeing as they're on defense, they might be able to do that and possibly run away with it, but RunShark needs to answer back, but on attack this time.
5 seconds remaining.
Indeed they do, but the the setup coming out here from
Attackers are
OG,
heading out
much
to the
different
bomb.
to Run Shock's defense. They do not have that well, they do have the Maestro, but Maestro is playing with the older and not that AA-12 shotgun. So very two different things, but a spawn peek coming out here from Drop Shot, and I believe he's going to try and re-peek it once again as Patats is watching that angle just patiently, but the other window is being peeked by him. So trying to use that aggressiveness from his defense to try and put pressure on Run Shock right at the beginning of the round. Hansi has taken a bit of HP damage, not sure from where, but needless to say that might be either a deficit or an advantage for him later in the rounds.
Look at this aggression from Run Shock. This is the aggression that Omnius Gaming only showed when they were attacking Kitchen. So, and that aggression paying off as Nuik eliminates Kaiko off the board, and that is a smoke. A very pivotal operator to eliminate early on into the round. So this is good news for Run Shock as they have that controlled aggression on point. So OG has a problem right now, and they need to readjust to this attack because it's getting deadlier and deadlier by the second as they have full control over, well, not full, but have control over Piano, and they'll be making their way onto Ticket and New Hatch.
Indeed they will, but these angles being watched out here by for Shuk. Vlad shooting some shots in return to OG, trying to put some pressure there, but that's Sandal's first pick for the round, getting off Nevik. That's the Ash off the board. Hopefully she used some of her util. She did have a drone in place, but so that's some wasted utility. But needless to say now, Drop Shot adding onto the scoreboard. That's Vlad, or that's the ace. He has used some of his util, needless to say, so well done from him there. It won't be a wasted opportunity, but still very disadvantaged towards Run Shock, but Patat now watching out this angle here onto Shaiko's Shaiko's spot. The Maestro going to be able to be spotted out there if he makes a wrong step, and he does get spotted out there, put onto 5 HP there by Run Shock. Well, Shuk, and there he is taken out by the impact grenade of Patat, and Greedy adding onto the scoreboard as well, but he is down. He's down by not out, but there we go, he's out now as Sandals gets that C4 and brings it back to an even scoreline, a 2-2 man count at the moment. They do have the HP advantage, however, as the players on Run Shock are very low.
Indeed, the back and forth is intense between these two matches. Sandals double peeks to Delphox and eliminates him, leaving Patat on his own on the Zofia in a very peculiar position right now. He's going to be met with the Aruni. Aruni was looking at him, but looked the other way, and it is now taken off the board. Patat might be able to do this, but he only has 4 seconds left, and Sandals eliminates Patat as he was looking at the wrong way. That's a round for OG, making it a 3-4 score count.
First round for OG on their defense, really well played from them there. Sandals just stepping up on the board, just taking control of that round, taking control of his defense and getting a 4K for himself. So excellent play from him there on that Goyo. The Vector, really just a monstrous gun, that high RPM, and just being able to really tear apart Run Shock. However, for Run Shock's attack there, it was a very shaky attack from them. They did get the opening pick, but not able to hold it out there as the round just went out. OG just stepping back and just putting pressure on them. So well done from them, but Run Shock need to try and bring some bit of structure in their attacks if they want to keep their advantage in this match.
Yep, you are right there. It seemed a little bit all over the place. The aggression was there, but I don't know. Maybe they lost a couple of players too easily, if I may add to that. So hadn't they lost all those players that easily, I think they might be able to pull out a win on that round. And I think it was Patat missing a couple of shots onto the Maestro later on. So that might have been one other mistake that tripped them off. So OG going all the way down to Kitchen. We'll see what their plan is on this side of things.
Ergo, yeah, struggling with the shield to try and find the perfect positioning there for him, just to support him as he is going to play in this Whiskey Bar VIP corridor. He is getting, well, there's pre-fires onto the VIP window, as it does look like Run Shock are going to try and execute from that area, but no, they decided to take a top-down execute. So we have to see if that can be in their favor. There is one player playing up above. I'm not sure exactly who that is, but he is going to be able to put a lot of pressure. That is the Vigil actually drop shot. I didn't see they had a Vigil on the board, and the Jaeger, their Sandals, his duo there to support him on this roam. Really going to put a lot of pressure on Run Shark's attack.
I'm not sure about that shield that Ergo was struggling with, because if my knowledge could help me out, would mean that that shield, somebody's going to be shot with the Nomad Sandals, eliminating Delphox, as Delphox is unaware and just sprinting into Cocktail for no good reason. And somebody else is downed by Patat, gets a pick onto Dropshot, but somebody else was down at that point in time. It might be Dropshot who was downed, actually. But speaking of that shield, I think that shield could be easily shot from the garage and freezer entrance.
I believe it is from the other angle, actually, from Brown Stairs, but I don't know if the way he was trying to place it, if it was trying to stop that, but there is a pick there. Sandals does get taken out. I'm not sure from exactly who, but that advantage goes now back to Run Shark, as it is now a 4 versus 3. They do have a minute 15 left on the clock, however, so they have to try and make an execute, getting this vertical control, trying to get the long angles out here. Patat struggling a bit there just with his utility, trying to figure out the correct position, but Greedy now rotating to try and get control of this VIP area. Still the Ashen Sophia making this vertical up top, trying to pressure. That player does get spotted out, but shots being shot through, not hitting anybody there. Some shots go through, but hitting those bars, unlucky from Nevik. There is a pick, however, from Ergo. That is Vlad off of the board, but Nevik answering back, getting Hansi on the wall. Yeah, getting Hansi off of the board. Now it's a 2 versus 3 situation.
And Greedy pushing in to Christmas. I don't know if they know about this player down in Heavy, but they do, but his ADS a little too high, and Ergo is going to eliminate Newick and making it a 2v2 man count, but they do know where he is right now, and they're going to push him, and the Goyo is off the board, making it a 2v1 man count, but Patat and Greedy finishing off Kaiko, and Ergo making it another round for Run Shark. Indeed,
another round for Run Shark. Guess it's just Caster's curse, because I keep saying stuff and then it keeps happening. So I'm not going to predict things at this point, because I'm making it a bit of a disadvantage for OG side, as Run Shark now take the advantage once again, but they bring it up to a bigger margin in a 5-3 scoreline, as they try to go back in their attacks, now bringing a similar lineup, as now they have to re-attack that same site, as OG are going to reattempt their kitchen service defense.
Yeah, the aggression was a little more controlled this time, and it worked out for the better. Each trade came in at the right time when they needed it, and unfortunate for OG, they trades got a bit too much for them, and yeah, they couldn't keep up with a Run Shark. It did seem like they had the round in the bag, but there was 30 seconds left, so Run Shark still had time to readjust and eliminate Ergo, as he was stuck outside of Freezer by Garage. So now they're attacking the same side, and OG's gone back to the same side, so surely they're going to be making a few adjustments. This is the shield. This is not the shield I was talking about. The shield I was talking about was the one placed close to the bar area, but he is struggling with.
You were talking about the whiskey shield. Okay,
yeah,
now
that whiskey shield, and no, it cannot be shot from there. I'm wrong.
Fortunately for them, I was also very confused as to what you were trying to say. But needless to say, speaking of the defense, very similar lineup once again. We do have the Vigil and Jaeger upstairs again, but there's a switcheroo. Hansi is now on that Jaeger, and Sandals is on the castle. And Vlad eats a lot of HP and a lot of bullets, as he's put to under 50 HP from drop shot. So good advantage for OG to start off the round on that roam upstairs. But now Run Shark have to retake the top floor and try and pressure out these attackers, or defenders, sorry, if they want to have good time management.
True indeed, and it does seem like they are in position and poised to take the top floor. a little bit of damage was done to them, but I think whoever did that damage is going to fall back because I think they're alone in the top floor. So you don't want to be alone in the top floor. So they're probably going to rotate back. They are rotating back to white stairs. So they're going to stick around there, tuck themselves tightly in position and wait for Runshark to push in. But when Runshark pushes in, they push in and get the kill onto you as they got a kill onto Sandals, and Sandals is out of the board. But the castles still remain and still have to deal with those castle doors. Vlad still on half HP at the moment. Ergo waiting for them in the top floor next to one of those default sight bars. But now, Dropshot is going to challenge somebody outside of Freezer with that visual in hand.
Speaking of contesting, Patat getting two for himself, Kaiko unaware, and Hansi as well, just getting picked off there. That's 2 players off of the board. Now OG in a 4 versus 2 as Ergo gets one, but he gets refrag. Dropshot gets another one. That's Nivik. A refrag for refrag there on the board. Dropshot now left at 1 versus 3. He has to spot out these players. The plant is going to be attempted by Greedy as he's trying to find that positioning to get there, but unaware of the location of the Nomad sitting on red stairs. They're getting picked off there. Well done from Delphox just to wait patiently and use his sound to find that Vigil rotating back and just completely cut him down in his tracks and bring his team to match point.
Match point for Runshark, and Runshark is riding on their momentum right now. And OG, I don't know where they lost it or how they lost it, but it is slipping out of their hands and it is slipping out quick. This is bad news for them as Vlad, Delphox, Patat, Greedy, and Newick are going the same operators, and OG is sticking to the same operators as well as they go up to bar and cocktail. They have to shake things up. They have to do something different. I believe they did win bar and cocktail, so maybe it will come together again on this side, or Runshark might trip them up. We'll see how this one turns out.
OG going back to that top floor, similar lineup to their previous time that they went there. Hopefully Sandals this time can, or not this time, sorry, once again, maybe he can make a big impact for his team and really keep them in this game, or if his teammates can really step up and support him on that and then bring OG back into the matchup as they are very disadvantaged at the moment. 3-6 scoreline. Runshark don't have much to waste at the moment. They do have 3 rounds in their favor, so they have time and, well, obviously opportunities to test things. But for OG, it's all up to this round. They have to win this round to keep themselves in the game and win a consistent 3 rounds after that if they want to take it to match, well, the overtime and maybe get a second chance in winning this matchup.
It's a make or break for OG right now. They're going for spawn peaks, which is not what you want to be doing if it hasn't been working out that well for you, especially in the position that they're in. Delphox and his teammates are going to be pushing up to Piano, and it seems like they're making good progress at that. Runshark's aggression is getting more and more intense as the rounds go by, and they want to close this down really, really quick. They have to deal with those Arini laser gates at some point, and hopefully they do have the utility to do that. All it takes is a flashbang or some sort of projectile to turn it down. Sandals puts Newick down into drone work, and the Ash is not going to be doing any killing this time around.
Sandals now, speaking of him, was now really getting the first pick for his team, and Dropshot there, adding it on as he picks off Vlad. That's the Thatcher off of the board. Good pick for him. All that utility being wasted and saving his ADSs from being burned and really just being pressured from those Thatcher EMP. So well done from him there. He does lose a bit of HP, but he still has the advantage for his team as it is currently a 5 versus 3. There is a minute 30 left on the board, so Runshark still have a lot to work with. They are trying to get rid of the shielding pixel as Dropshot is being contested, and he's trying to contest it. The shield is gone, however, and Delphox picks him off there. Terrible timing, but well done from them as they do bring themselves their first pick in the game, bringing it to a 4 versus 3.
4 versus 3 isn't too bad at all. There's still 1 minute left of this round, but they have to make a move at this point. We see the Maestro trying to peek in very dangerously at that, but not taking any bit of damage and manages to get to safety. All OG players are stuck in Freezer and one in Cocktail. and they'll be getting into position to stop this execute from happening. Patat taking a lot of damage from that Evil Eye. And that's going to put him down to about 70 HP. This is deadly for him. Habana also taking a little bit of damage. This is bad news for Runshark as they have to make a move in 30 seconds. More Evil Eye damage is coming in from another place. This is extraordinary coming from OG because they are shutting down this assault right now. But Delphox knows exactly where the Maestro is, and Hansi eliminates Patat, leaving Delphox alone, and Kako finishing it off with a kill onto Delphox and getting another round for OG.
Well done to OG there, really keeping themselves in the game as they now bring the score to 6-4. So really giving it their all. They don't want to give up just yet because obviously Runshark, like I said, are on match point. They do have time on their side, they do have rounds to waste, but if they really don't want to take it to overtime, they have to try and finish that one out now. However, for OG, they have to fight till the very end. They have to give it their all. They have to win 2 more rounds to take it to overtime, and then really just battle it out in those next 3 rounds to see who comes up on top in their group stages, who is the victor and will take that #1 spot in their pools.
Attackers need
And
to locate
speaking
and
of those
defuse
2
bombs.
rounds, Justin, if they go to kitchen, then on paper they have lost it already twice. So they've chosen to go back to the same side that they've lost twice so far, which is a big gamble at this point, in my opinion. But maybe they have another strat for this place that they want to show off, and it might work out for them. And as far as the Runshark, they're sitting pretty, as you mentioned earlier on, and maybe they're thinking they have this in the bag, but you cannot lose focus at all at any time in this place. Anything can happen in Siege, you'll never know. So we'll see what Runshark brings for this attack.
Indeed, but speaking of OG's defense, it does look like a similar defense as Ergo struggling with that shield once again. He can't find the perfect positioning of that shield. But for the attack of Runshark, going back for that top down, hopefully the defenders this time, drop shot once again, playing up top on that Vigil, can put a pressure. He is being droned out, so he does eventually spot at that drone, but now his location is known by Runshark. However, for these next 2 rounds, they have to play perfectly. They can't make any mistakes. OG need to really try and make something out of this to try and stay in the game. But for their sakes, let's hope for the best and see some more action come through on this roam.
The Visual was spotted out, but I don't think the Jaeger was spotted out at all. But he might momentarily be spotted out. They do know that a drop shot is on White Stairs. He almost spotted somebody on Pixel, but luckily he fell back. But Patat sends Sandals to the Shadow Realm with a shot onto him, and Sandals is not going to be playing at all for the remainder of this round, but the ADSs will be in action, and Runshark has to clear them at some point if they find them. And somebody says, so much fun, and it is so much fun when you're getting all the kills. Patat on half HP as they're going to try and find the remaining of the defenders to get into position and move them around so they can get a couple of kills. They have to deal with that Goyo shield at some point, and that's what we see Vlad doing right here as he wants to take control over Freezer. He's going to be getting a little bit of help from Patat, but I am wrong about that. He's going to help out the Ash and the Nomad.
Doing that vertical control, well, vertical play now, that's Runshark trying to put more pressure onto these defenders in their kitchen site. Maybe the pre-fire is actually coming through, but maybe it wasn't the best idea for OG to take this kitchen site as Dropshot now losing HP as well, trying to contest Delphox sitting here on these brown stairs as the Nomad, but now 45 seconds left on the clock. Runshark really have to try and make something of this run, put some pressure on these defenders. They do have a lot of HP advantage, but they still need to get into sight. They still need to pick off those players. And speaking of picking off those players, that's Patat to get the second one for himself. That run or the Hansi off for the board, but Ergo put onto 5 HP. He's being contested there by Greedy, and Greedy eventually picks him off there, but now being contested by Dropshot. The gun gets spotted out. Some damage being put onto him. Dropshot having to rotate out, but he will be contested by those red stairs.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yep, the drop shot is pretty angry about that. He's being shot in the hand. That cannot be good news for them. Delphox is putting the diffuser down. This might be it. this might be it for Run Shark taking this round. The diffuser is down and the smoke tries to get some hero play in, but Vlad eliminates him and ends it for OG. That is a good win for Run Shark taking this match and Matt in Cafe.
7-4 victory for Run Shark. Really well played from them. Exceptional siege coming out from them. An exceptional match coming out from both of the teams. OG giving it their all there at the end to try and bring it back from that match point that Run Shark had. Not able to really do it, but needless to say, we can't take all the success away from Run Shark as they played their game. They came out and really, completely just showed what they needed to do and played exceptional siege.
They did indeed. They met aggression with aggression. OG did turn up the aggression at some point, but they kind of dialed it down and not sure why, or maybe they just wanted to tame it down a little bit and restructure themselves, but seemed like Run Shark just turned up the aggression, and at some point it just seemed like it was uncontrolled, but they showed us that it was controlled, and they managed to sneak in a couple of more rounds in there and sneak in a victory at the end. So yeah, Run Shark, beautiful game from them and well played from OG as well. They did put up a fight. It seemed like they were going to come back, but it was just too little too late.
Indeed it was. But speaking a bit of that game, OG could have really played their aggression, but it looks like Run Shark were just stopping them in their tracks. They were really just countering OG's aggressiveness. I believe they did go and do their homework and just tried to see what the best possible outcome is. And I guess, like you said, playing aggression for aggression sometimes work, not always, but for Run Shark's side, it did really work today. I don't believe they played too aggressively on their attacks. They just played how they should have. They did what they were supposed to. They executed perfectly. They did that roam clear from top down and just completely wiped OG's kitchen defense in its tracks, as well for OG in Run Shark's defense in kitchen. So maybe both teams need to go and sit down and really work on their kitchen defense, because it looks like for that game, kitchen was played 5 times and it was lost 5 times. So it's really, a very interesting sight that it did come out to that scoreline, not having one win on it. But I think for OG, if they took it to reading room and dining there for that final sight instead of kitchen, they could have had a much better game for them, because they did not play reading room and dining once in their defense, if I'm mistaken.
No, they didn't. And I was just about to say, I have an idea. Maybe don't go kitchen that much. There is reading, which is, as you said, a good site to hold. There is also mining as well and dining. So there are 2 more sites that you could hold perfectly well, and they are closer to the top floor. So maybe they need to research that, or maybe they wanted to stand their ground. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like, or maybe they know that they can't hold reading and dining. Maybe they've scrimmed each other before. So you never know with these things. And yeah, it just seemed like both teams did their research onto kitchen and they were able to counter each other, I guess, so to speak.
Indeed, I did think that they countered each other. But speaking of that, we do have a giveaway going on World League's esports Twitter. That's World League ESP on Twitter. You guys go comment down below who you think is going to win the finals, and then you'll be entered in the giveaway, which you can win a mousepad and a t-shirt, which, William, if you guess correctly, you'll be entered into the giveaway. And William, speaking of those prizes, they are really, really good prizes, if I have to say so myself.
I want the t-shirt. I so
Same.
badly want the t-shirt. We got giant mouse pads as well, so maybe you do want to get your hands on that. So do head over to the Twitter page, that's WLESP, and guess your favorite team to win. And if you guess it right, you'll be entered into the draw to win any of those prizes.
Also, please, Also, please like and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Sorry, I had a bit of production there speaking to me, just getting the final things there. But also like and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We want to hit 500 by the end of today. So please really support us and help us. And we appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming out and giving us the support and giving the team support and watching them as they battle it out for that 10,000 Rand prize pool. As well, we will be back live at 5 p.m. So we will be taking a 2-hour break as these games have been rescheduled and being cancelled. So we'll see you guys at 5 p.m. That's William and Justin signing out.
Ciao, ciao.
I know it's a game I'm not gonna play, but maybe you should do whatever you need to erase me. It's all just a game. You think I'm gonna play, but maybe you should do whatever you need to erase me. Maybe you should do whatever you need to erase me.
to make you smile. And you need me to hold you close, and all your fears that you dream of will disappear.